Hello, everyone. This is Dave. Today, I'm going to be making an Easter Bunny wreath. Say hello to my little friend there in the right hand corner. Isn't he cute? Today, I'm using a wire wreath frame. I have these bunny ears, that's a headband, some white Chennile stems, some white Deco mesh, a cutting mat which has a ruler on it, Easter decorations, and I found these snowballs that I thought were going to be cool to use as Easter Bunny tail, for an Easter Bunny tail. And I have a glue gun and glue sticks, some scissors, and that's everything that I'm going to be using today. As always, I like to do a little Wreath 101 before. So this is a 14-inch wire wreath frame. It has 4 circular wires going all the way around with crossbars every now and then. And it's split up into 6 different sections. And we're going to be using the 2 inner wires today. So that's all you need to know about a wire wreath frame. As always, I like to start off by cutting my Chennile stems in half. It just makes it a little bit easier for me, especially at the very end, so you don't have so much to chop off or trim off when you're done. So I just go through and I grab my full-length Chennile stems and I chop them in half, put them to the side. And the second thing that I do is I take all my packaging off of the Deco mesh and I start chopping it. So today I use 7 inches. This is the curly Deco mesh method. So for me, I always have gone with 7 inches. You can try 6 or 8 or 10. It's totally up to you. Now, one way to do it is how I just showed you right here. You lay it out and you cut it. But a little trick of mine, my little board here happens to be 7 inches. So what I'm going to do is I just take that Deco mesh and then I just start wrapping it around, keeping it nice and taut. I usually just start wrapping it maybe 10-15 times. I chop off that excess, then I hold one end, slide my scissors against the board, and I just start making cuts. And before I flip it over, I make sure I secure it again and do the same thing. Slide that scissor blade against the mat, give it a nice good cut, and whammo. All those little pieces cut already. So there's a couple of different versions to do it. And of course, I just keep going through the whole thing. For this wreath, I ended up using, I think it was 5 rolls in total. So I have 120 little pieces cut out. And how did I get to that total? Let me show you. So here's our wreath again. And in the wreath, you have 6 different sections. Now in each section, I'm going to be placing bundles. So there's 5 bundles per section. And in each of those bundles, those little pieces that we cut, there's going to be 4 of those little pieces in each bundle. So 4 times 5 is 20, times 6 sections, that's 120 pieces of little Deco mesh cut. Does that all make sense? So what I'm going to do for each one is I'm just going to take each of the Deco mesh and then I'm going to give it a little curl, roll it up, and then I'm going to put it in between my index finger and my middle finger and hold it in place. Now you can hold it all together with a clothespin if you want. This is just the method that I use. I'm used to it. And as well, if you want to see a more detailed way of how I do this, I'll link it at the top right hand corner. It is my how to make a curly Deco mesh wreath. So I'll leave that link up above. And here you just saw me take the Chennile stem to create my first bundle. How does it look so far? So after I've got all of my bundles created, I'm going to start attaching it to my wire wreath frame. So my wire wreath frame is good side facing down, and then I take my first bundle of Deco mesh and I attach it to the anchor and the 2 wires in the middle. So you'll see it there. Now it's nice and attached. And then for the second one, I just do the exact same thing, just in between. Here I'm just showing you that the anchors happen every now and then I'm going to attach the other bundles in between those anchors. So here we go. We just take that Chennile stem, wrap it around the inside 2 wires, and then just give it a little twist. Make sure it's nice and secured. And once that twist happens, you can just move it down to create a little more space for your next bundle. So like I said, I do 5 per section, and I'm just going to continue on here with all of those wonderful bundles that we created and make sure I get my 5 bundles in that one little section. Now you can do more bundles or less bundles if you want. You don't have to stick to my 5. This is just my suggestion. I do like a full wreath. So I find with the 4 little sections in each bundle, 5 works perfectly for me. So here I am, I've got all 5 done. Now I'm going to start with my next section. So on that one, I'm going to use that crossbar again to create an anchor and just twist, twist, twist. I will say this, it looks like a lot of work, but once you have the TV on or music going or maybe a bottle of wine beside you, it goes a lot faster. So I'm just going to continue and work all the way around. And here I am, I'm almost done. I've got a couple more to go. And you can see how full my wreath is getting. I'm having trouble getting these last 2 in here, especially with my big hands, trying to get it all in there. So there you go. I filled the entire wreath with all of my bundles, and I'm almost done. And of course, I always love this part when I flip it over and I check it out to see how it looks. And I just fluff everything up, turn it around, see how it looks. And of course, I'm so excited because it looks great. Here's my little tail that I'm testing out. How does that look? And I've got my little bunny ears, so you can kind of see where I'm going with this. And I also have some white and pink felt. Now, what I'm going to do with that is make little bunny feet. So I've got my bunny ears, I've got my bunny tail, and I've decided I'm going to make little bunny feet on this Easter bunny wreath as well. And all I do for that is I'm taking white felt and pink felt, and I have 2 on top of each other, and then I'm just going to outline a bunny foot here. And then once I'm happy with that, I take my scissors and I just cut out that pattern that I'm happy with, and that's going to create one of my bunny feet. And of course we're going to do 2, so anything I do here I'm going to double it up. Obviously I'm just showing you how to do 1. And then what I'm going to do with the pink one is I'm just going to draw its little pads. So you know at the bottom of their feet they have the pink pads. So I'm just going to estimate the size that I want, and I'm going to double it up as well because I want 2 sets. And then I just start cutting those out, and I'm going to be creating those bunny feet. My first thought was I just wanted to do it flat, and then of course when I was doing this I'm like, you know what, I want to make it a little bit poofy, so that's why I'm doing the 2 sets of the white felt. So there's a bottom portion and a top portion, and I'll show you in a bit how I get it to be a little bit poofy. And here I am, I'm just testing everything out, seeing how it all looks, and I'm totally happy with that. So now it's time for that handy dandy glue gun, and I start gluing down those pink little pads onto the white felt. And I just let it dry for a little bit, hold it down in place. We all know that glue sticks from the glue gun dries pretty quickly, which is a beautiful thing. And I'm just finalizing those pink pads, and I'm going to move on to making those paws a little bit puffy. So I'm going to take my bottom portion, I'm going to apply glue just on the outside, but I'm not going to fully close it in. I want to have a little opening. So I just put the top one back on, I secure it all down, and then I do the same for the second one. So same thing, glue it all the way around except for a little bit at the bottom, put that top portion back on, and secure it. So here I am, I'm taking some cotton balls, and I'm actually just going to pull them apart a little bit. I'm not going to stuff the entire cotton ball in there. I want it to be a little bit looser than a solid cotton ball. And then all I'm doing is I'm just going to stuff them in that little pocket that we created and give it a little bit of depth and a little bit of interest as well. And I just keep stuffing it until I'm happy with the fullness, the puffiness. And then once I stuff it all, I think I'm going to put a little bit more in. Yep, I am going to put a little bit more in here. And then once that's all in there, I'm just going to take that glue gun and close it up and seal that all in there. And then I just repeat the entire process for that second paw. So here we go. I have my wreath. I'm just going to flip it over, and I'm going to figure out how I'm going to attach my headband onto the wreath. At first I thought, you know what, I think I'm just going to stuff it in there and then glue it on. But then the headband portion was a little bit too big, so I took my pliers, and with a double fist, I squished it all together, and you can see it just totally shook the entire table and the camera. But I eventually got it off. So I just chopped that piece, and then of course I'm taking the other side, and I'm going to get rid of that as well, taking my scissors and cutting the fabric. And then I'm just going to play around, see how to position it, and I eventually just feed it through that top wire in between the first and second wire, sorry. And then I attach it with a whole bunch of glue. It was actually, in the end, pretty simple. I thought I was going to be here for the longest time trying to figure out how to attach this on there, but in the end, as you see, it turned out really well. So I'm going to grab that glue, and I'm just going to throw a whole bunch of glue down, and then I'm going to press it together and make sure it holds. Once that's all dry or semi-dry, I'm going to flip it over, and you can start seeing how my bunny is coming together. Of course, it was so big it didn't fit in the camera frame, which is a good thing. Now, my little bunny tail. And these snowballs, I have to say, I am so happy I found them. I'm going to have to go back and grab more for Christmas decor as well. I know it's only January and I'm already thinking of Christmas decor. Isn't that crazy? But all I do for my bunny tail is I grab a whole bunch of glue, put it on the back, hold it down, and there's my little paws. They're all together and all dry. I'm going to place them down, see how I like them. That's pretty good to me. So I'm just going to grab them, throw a bunch of glue in the back, and just push them into place. I think it's coming together so well. I'm so happy with this. And of course, there we go. I broke my glue gun. Can you believe that? But it didn't really end up breaking. I just had to put it back together. I guess, closed the stand a little bit too hard and it popped right off. No worries, no worries. So there we go. My little Easter bunny with his tail and his little feet, or his little paws. Is it paws or feet? Bunny have rabbit's foot? Maybe it's a foot, yeah. So there's his ears, his little feet, and his tail. It is all done, and I'm so excited about it and so thrilled that it all came together. A nice, simple, easy wreath for you to follow along and create yourself. Thank you so much for watching me today. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, hit that like button and maybe leave me a comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be notified whenever I upload a new video. Thanks again. Take care. Bye for now.